So I know it's been a minute since my last episode of this Jon Boat build, but I don't know, I don't really have any excuses. I was working on the trailer and I got this boat fitted on this different trailer that you'll see that it's on right now. I acquired a bunch of parts over this probably 2-month break since the last video. I got a motor, I got a jack plate, I've got flooring, I've got so much stuff, and now we just need to do some work. Since our last episode, I ripped every little bit of junk out of this floor and I vacuumed it all up. I pressure washed it up. It is clean. So we're ready. We've got a nice clean blank canvas and we're ready to start building the floor. So I actually changed my mind as to what I was going to do about the whole steering system. I was going to do like a stand-up center console boat. I thought it'd be pretty cool, but then I kind of ran into some issues with some things. And then now I found a tiller motor, so that's what's going to go on there. It's a 40 horse long shaft. It's a Evinrude, but it's got a Johnson cover on it. I want to say it's a 1990 or something on the lines of that. But that is what's going to be powering this thing. And then I bought a huge sheet of, what the heck was it? 1/8 inch diamond plate aluminum, and that's what we're doing for the floor. And that's what we're doing today. I also picked up 2 of these 4x8 sheets of 1.5 inch thick styrofoam. So this is what's going to be our spacer. I already cut one piece and I have it laid in there, but essentially all it is it's going to be a spacer that's going to run in between all of these ribs, because if you don't have thick enough metal, every time you step like here or here, it's going to bow out the floor. Because I didn't go with super thick material, because I also didn't want to weigh the boat down a ton. People say like this is good for flotation too, but realistically I don't think it does anything but space out your floor. And that's really it, because realistically the amount of styrofoam you're going to have in here, if you take on water, I don't think it's going to save your boat. But maybe it will if it's a small boat. But being a 1760, this isn't going to save it. So like I said, it's pretty much just a spacer. Wow. And being that it's a 4x8 sheet, it's kind of hard to cut 5-foot long sections. It's a lot easier to just do small chunks, and then what I have left over I'll put in the corner pieces. So that's what I'm gonna do anyway. So I cut, these are 13 wide, and then we have some smaller, I think these were like 10 inch. And then this one is really big, so it's gonna kind of be weird. So we're just taking it one step at a time. Oh yeah, that's nice. So we switched over to my phone here. I took my 5x10 sheet of aluminum, and what I did was I made a little brace here. I came back and then I put this cross piece in here, welded a couple of tabs right to there, because it wasn't going to come all the way to the back. I don't know if that should be fine. I have my foam under here like you saw last video, and then I brought this piece right up to this brace. So that's kind of why I did that rear bracing like that, so that way I could fit the full 5x10 sheet all the way back. And then as you can see, this is the front where it starts to pick up like this. I'm gonna extend this front deck back to about right here, So this is all going to be covered up anyways. This is a really small front deck. I think it's only about 3 feet long, which in reality that really isn't very big. So that's going to help me with covering up some of those holes. I think I'm going to put like a sheet all the way across and then down, and then build some bracing from here to that brace and then over to here. So we can put some stuff, like I'm going to store batteries in here. I think I might put a couple of hatch lids on top here. I'm going to keep this floor super open. That way we don't have to worry about not having enough room. And in the back here, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. This for sure is going to be somewhat open because I'm going to need a bilge pump. And I kind of want to leave it a little bit open. I think I'm going to build something like maybe some pods up above this here. Leave that middle open. Put a pod on both sides because I think I'm going to put like a battery over there, and my electronic switch panel is going to be over there. This is where I'm going to be sitting when I'm driving the boat, so I want something to mount a seat to. So it's all up in the air right now. It's just kind of going. Plans are changing constantly, so who knows what's going to happen. The floor is coming together. I've got all this riveted. I just got a few more places to go. I got like 1, 2, 3 more of these ribs to rivet along. But I've been getting these suckers pretty gosh dang spot on. That's nice. We're making some good progress. This air riveter is so nice, and it makes this so much easier than riveting this all by hand. So the floor is all done and riveted in. Now it is time to address this crappy thing. This is broke. It split all the way up to here, and then it splits out like lengthwise here. So I don't think this shouldn't crack any farther. It's already busted all the way off. This deck is busted. So what I did is I ripped this piece of, I think it's a 1.5 by 1.5, and this fits on here almost like a glove. So I'm just gonna pound that on there. It's got a little bit of extra room, just enough room for a sheet of sheet metal. So that's gonna straighten that out. So I'm gonna pound that on, weld it, but before I do that, I'm gonna put a flat sheet here. Oh my gosh, you can see how sweaty I am. It's like 8 million degrees in here and I am dying. But we're gonna cut a sheet and we're gonna run it the length of this. I'm gonna weld it from here to here. So we're gonna run that stitch weld from this seam and then weld it up on here. I might rivet it into this too, and then slide that C-channel up over the top and then run a weld across there and weld it in the front. So that should be very, very beefy. So there we go. I got a roughly cut piece of diamond plate just so I can smash it up in this front end. It doesn't have to look perfect because like I said, it's pretty much just gonna hold this like deck up to this. I'm gonna cover this up with like a 90-degree kind of piece because I'm bringing this straight back. So this doesn't have to look absolutely perfect because this is gonna go over the top anyway, so it's kind of just a support piece. But I'm gonna hammer this puppy on and we're gonna weld this in. Well, that went exactly as planned. That straightened that sucker right out. Got a welded in piece there. That is awesome. Straightened right out. I'm gonna pound this in a little bit. Get that closer and do some stitch welding on there too. I'm sweating. It's freaking hot, but that's all right because we're getting one step closer to maybe using this boat this year, possibly. So here we are. I did like a little front end 90-degree majig. Those welds aren't pretty, so don't look at them, and those don't look very good either, but it's gonna be all right. So I've got a nice like 90-degree flat platform, nice and adjacent to the front end, so that way I have a nice flat mounting surface. I can put my trolling motor right here where this water bottle is, and that's gonna hang off the front end real nicely. And I'm also gonna do some lights and stuff that are gonna be up on here. So that's awesome. And this actually came from that corner of that toolbox. So they talk about reduce, reuse, recycle. That's reuse if I ever seen it. Also, I talked about how I was gonna extend this deck back to where I put the floor. So I framed out this unit here and it's really sturdy. So that is all welded up and installed. It's nothing really special. It's just kind of a bunch of welded rectangular tubing in a pattern that I can stand on it right now and it seems super beefy. And the point of extending this deck too was this is super flimsy, this front piece, and I don't want flimsiness, so I tried to beef it up as much as I could. I'm not super worried about the weight, it'll be all right. And I got a sheet of diamond plate that's in the back of that truck there of mine. That is gonna get cut and that's gonna fit the whole length all the way from right here back. And then down at the bottom here, I have these welded in on the back side. You can't really see, but on this bottom edge, I'm gonna take this, never mind. This right here, it's a flat stock, and I'm gonna put that right on the back of this, and that's gonna run the length of it and act as like a little lip sticking up. The floor is still gonna be able to drain underneath through all them ribs in the floor, but the point of that is it's gonna act as like a barrier, because I'm gonna be putting a gas tank in here and batteries over here that are gonna be running the trolling motor. So now this is all welded and ready to go. All I gotta do is put that bottom strip in, and then we're gonna start fitting this front deck flooring. And there we have it, a nice aluminum diamond plate deck. I'm gonna also enclose these edges. That's kind of why I built this to be flush. Oh, almost fell. But this is flush right here. So this whole shebang, and I ground that weld down. So I'm gonna put a piece of diamond plate in this corner and as well in that corner. That way it'll be kind of semi-closed off, but yet still open. And then when you stand, sorry about the loud noise, in the back of the boat, it'll look pretty clean, I think. I think it'll look pretty sweet. This thing's already looking pretty dang awesome. That's all scuzzy and gross, but it's all gonna get cleaned up and painted when I'm all done here. But we're making some awesome progress. I've had this entire floor in, and I've had this front deck done. I've had the front piece done for a very long time, and I have been waiting for that piece right there. I'll come on over and show you exactly what I've got. This took a while because it was a made-to-order piece. So if you guys remember how I built this deck system, I extended the deck back about 2 feet, 1.5 to 2 feet, because the original deck only came to about right here, which, as you can see, that's not a lot of deck space after I put that thing in for mounting purposes. Well, anyways, so now we got a nice big deck, and this puppy is gonna go someplace right up in the middle here because this is going to be all sealed off in the front, whereas the back is wide open, and that's where my fuel tank, I don't think you've seen that yet, my fuel tank came in, and the batteries. I'm going to put 2 trolling motor batteries here, so I got plenty of power to run the trolling motor, plenty of power for lights. I painted the trailer. I didn't even show that because I've just been trying to get stuff done here, and this video is already going to be super long because it's been stretched out over many months. I didn't even show, I fitted bunks on here to get the trailer to fit, or to get the boat to fit the trailer. I bought straps, the ratcheting type, so these are awesome. You can just click a button, unhook it, it sucks back up, click the button again, pull it out, hook it up, ratchet it, and it's ready to go. I beefed up the transom, I put a piece here. I'm also gonna put a bar all the way across right here. And it's just, I don't know, it's a lot. It's nothing crazy fancy even either. Like those guys who build those crazy bass boats, I don't think they get the credit they deserve out of how much time you actually put into this stuff. Because I have so many hours worth of putting in the floor, cutting out all of these little chunks. I didn't even show it because I didn't want to bore you to death because it was so repetitive. But that's why this video is going to be really long. And I apologize, but hopefully you enjoy it. And hopefully it shows you that, you know, maybe you should just save up a little money and buy a boat. Yeah, because I could have been fishing all summer long on the river, which I still was, but yeah, if you don't have a boat, honestly, unless you got a lot of time, I'd just go buy one. Well, let's get back to work. So the way I'm going to install this hatch lid, like I said, it's going to go in this original front portion of deck so I can store tons of stuff up in there. Also, there's a bunch of foam and some other stuff still in there that I never was able to get out. The way I'm going to put this in is going to be a little unorthodox. It's not going to be perfectly square to the sides of the boat and whatnot, because the way the diamond plate is, it isn't perfectly square. So I'm going to kind of adjust it so it looks not off completely, but I kind of want it to match the diamond plate versus the edges of the boat, because when you're standing up here, you're going to notice if it's off on the diamond plate. So I'm going to kind of cheat it, and that's how we're going to go about this. So got about 19 inches on that side to that rivet, and then so we're going to come over about like that. I don't know how, you can't even see it, but I have, okay, there you can kind of see it. So yeah, so I have a line drawn about 1 inch on the inside of that to make up for that overlap, because right here is where this is going to be riveted. So I'm going to cut that puppy out. Check this out. Fits like a glove. Now we got to rivet that puppy in. Oh God, yeah. If you're wondering why I'm putting rivets in like a weird way, it's because there's a cross brace that there's a cross brace that runs right through here, and I want to make sure there's one rivet on both sides of it. So I need to show you guys something awesome. Damn, boy. So we're actually going to be ending the video right now. And next video, we're going to be doing a lot of cool parts. We're going to be doing painting, a bunch of stuff. So here we go. The full aluminum floor is finally done. After a very long time. I pretty much was just going for like a duck boat style Jon boat. Not looking for a crazy bass boat, something big, open, and just like a multi-species fishing machine. And I apologize for how long this has taken, but it's hard to do a big boat build aside of working a full-time job because it takes time. And I'm not a phenomenal fabricator, but I'm okay. So yeah. So here we go, one last look. I built these little pods. These things are pretty sweet. You just got a little latch, flip that up, and then you got storage. I hope you guys come back for the next part of this build, which that one will be a lot sooner than the gap in the first and second, which is this video. So thanks for watching. See ya next video.